upload jobs that would match your interest based on the information you provided when you signed up. So you can just go to the Talent Careers to check that out. So our mission is to continuously transform the world. The world, please. Somebody is unmuted. Okay, I think okay. Person is still unmuted. Please let's mute our mics so we don't distract one another. Now, our mission at Italium is to continuously transform the world through talent acceleration, business innovation, and community building, while our vision is becoming the world's leading and sustainable African talent ecosystem. Our core values at Italium are embedded in the word impact. We are really big on impact, so it's only right that our core values would be embedded in that word. So here I stands for innovation, M stands for maximizing opportunities, P stands for professionalism, A stands for agile, and C stands for continuous improvement, and T stands for teamwork. We are very big on teamwork and collaboration. So our arms are the Italium. We have the Italium Academy, which is where we offer tech trainings to our students. And then we have the Italium Intelligence, which is basically our job matching platform. That is at the Italium Plus Careers. And then we have the Italium Technologies, which is where we create custom built solutions for businesses. And then finally, we have the Italium Alumni Women Network, also known as DON for short. So here we try to bridge the gap between men and women in the tech space because based on our research and based on the data available, we have seen that we have more men in the tech space than women. So with the Telem Alumni Women Network, we try to bridge that gap and ensure there is more representation from women in the technology space. All right, so our numbers at the Telem Academy, we trained over 35,000 tech talents globally, and then we have placed 80% of those that signified interest in entry-level positions, internships, and full-time positions. And then we also awarded over 1,500 scholarships. I think our most recent scholarship would be the Heritage 50. I'm sure most of us would have seen that. So our talent matching platform, currently we have posted over 3,000 tech jobs, and then we have over 1,000 talents registered. It is my hope that at the end of this call, everyone here would also be registered on that platform so they can get useful job updates. And the jobs we post cut across over 70 cities globally. So our alumni geographics. So we've trained people in, like I said, we are global. We train people across the world. Um, most of our trainees or most of our alumni are based in Nigeria, but we've also touched various countries across the world, as you can see from this map. Train people in Canada, United States, China, Germany, down South Africa, Gambia, Netherlands, Sweden, Italy, Switzerland, and so many more. So our clients and partnerships. So we have played a pivotal role in upscaling workforces at Italio, and then we do that to try to achieve company goals and targets. And our impact has reached over 7 sectors in Nigeria, which demonstrates our commitment to talent acceleration across these sectors. And sectors are in the finance, FMCG, which is fast moving consumer goods, religion, entertainment, education, oil and gas, and government. As you can see, we trained we've upskilled the workforces of companies such as Access Bank, UBA, GT Co, Waterwave, Coca-Cola HBC, Honeywell Group, LSCTF, the federal government of Nigeria. That was the 3MTT program, Prudent Energy, Commerce University, and Maven Records. As you can see, we also touch the entertainment sector as well as the religion sector as we train the Living Faith Church. So our awards and recognitions, since inception, we've been winning awards yearly. It's a yearly thing at this point. So I'll be starting from uh 2021. So I can't see the screen, but as I call the awards, please you can respond with a clapping emoji. In 2021, we won EdTech Startup of the Year 2021 at Tech Trend Africa. Then in 2022, we won Startup of the Year at AOT Lagos Awards. Then in 2023, we awarded the fastest growing company of the year 2023 at the Iconic Brand Awards. Then in 2023 as well, we won Best EdTech Startup in Africa at the Global Startup Awards at Ethiopia. And then we won the most recently, we were awarded Best Technology Training and Consulting Firm in Africa in 2024 at the World Business Outlook. So we've also gotten various recognition from media brands such as Punch, Business Day, Tech Cabal, Tech Gist, and many more. And then we are endorsed by IIBA as an education provider, which is under the business analysis. And then we're also registered under the UK Register of Learning Providers, that means that our certificate is recognized in the UK as well. So events that we have hosted and also been a part of in the past. So as a way to contribute to national development, skill as acquisition, and knowledge sharing, we have held a series of online and offline events covering an array of topics to educate, enlighten, and empower people. So some of these events include the GTT Job Fair, the Agile HR Summit, HR Meets Data, Italian Alumni Hackathon. That was a very interesting one. The transition, empowering women in banking, because that's something we're really big on. Then Code OYO, then a journey with data analytics, and you can see the rest displayed on the screen. And some of the partners that we have had this event with LSCTF, Jobberman, Alert, Mitch Consulting and Career Services, Partian, The Nest, Interswitch, Tech Cabal, Business Day. So those are some of the events partners we've had over the years. So our schools currently at the Italium, we have 5 schools running, and we include the data analytics and business intelligence, which the masterclass will be having sort of falls under. And then we have business analysis, we have software development, we have robotics and artificial intelligence, and then we have management and leadership. So our approach at Italium when it comes to training is we onboard first, which means we ensure seamless enrollment of all our trainees, and then we move into training where we adhere to the highest level of standard and excellence in equipping trainees with the relevant skill sets. And then in between the trainings, we have periodic assessments. And then at the end, we also provide a capstone project, which is a real life practical project that would, and then we integrate an effective grading process, which is in line with world class standards. So, whatever you're getting from us is adhering to global standards. So, you are good. And then finally, we look to place our trainees. That's those that signify interest in placement. We connect talents with local and global opportunities via Italium.careers, which I mentioned earlier. So here we have our gallery. This is not exhaustive, but it just shows a cross-section of some of the successful trainings we've had in the past. Like I said, we have physical trainings, we have virtual trainings, and they're all represented here. And also you can see everyone is smiling, everybody's happy, everyone is satisfied because we always meet expectations or we exceed expectations. So at the end of our trainings, our trainees are always happy and excited. Okay, so please you can follow us on all social media, on all our social media handles at the Italium. We have accounts on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, formerly known as Twitter, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on TikTok. So please, you can just give us a follow right now so that you're updated. May next we may have another masterclass or even scholarships or new trainings coming up. So you can join in and then also upskill yourself and just to see what we are doing basically and to follow us. So thank you very much. And remember at the Italium, the future starts here. Thank you so much. So right now I'll be taking questions. If anyone has questions regarding all I have said, please you can unmute and ask. But if not, we'll be moving forward.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Olabisi.
Yeah, my name is Olabisi Adamolekun. I just want to make an inquiry about if I should register with Data Loan, how much is going to be my payment for data analysis training?
Okay, currently, like I said, we have the virtual and the physical, or the hybrid parts. So for the virtual currently, it is, that's for the beginners, we have 100K for that. And then for the hybrid parts, we have 150K. And then we also have from beginners down to intermediate, and then we have intermediate alone. So I think it would be best if you give me a text. I'm on the group chat, so you can send it a text on the group chat as well, and then we can discuss this properly.
All
Hope
right, then.
that's
Thank
fine.
you so much. Yeah, thank you.
All right, awesome. Um, Ugona is here. You have your hand up.
Yes. Thank you very much for this session. I really appreciate. But I want to ask, you listed the price for virtual and hybrid, if I'm not mistaken, please. Said for virtual is 100 and for hybrid is 150. Am I correct?
Yes.
So I would like to confirm, why are the prices different? Why is the one of hybrid more than the one of virtual? Is it that something they are learning in the hybrid is quite more effective compared to that of virtual? Just want
No,
to know
you'll
what.
be getting the same. It's just with the hybrid, it's parts virtual and parts physical. So The fiscal part comes with extra cost because you'll also be getting some what's it called? You'll be getting some souvenirs and all of that. So yes, that is why the prices differ.
So are you saying now that the the virtual learning and the hybrid learning offers the same course, like the same process of
Yes,
learning?
yes. The only difference is one is strictly virtual and one is physical and virtual.
All right, thank you.
All right, awesome. Okay, I think that would end our question. Then later on, we can ask questions at the end of the session. All right, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you
So
so much,
over to
Kayode.
you, Titi.
Thanks so much, Kayode. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank you so much, Kayode. That was a good session. We'll be answering more questions after our training session today on any more questions you might have concerning the class, for the hybrid, for the mastery class, for the business analysis class. All our questions will be answered after our session today. All right. So I will be introducing our facilitator for today's session, the person of Kamal Dandina Ibrahim. Kamal is a growth intelligence expert at Detalium. He's a seasoned executive with over 7 years of experience in business intelligence and growth strategies, with a proven track record of developing and executing innovative growth initiatives that drives revenue and profitability. His expertise lies in leveraging data analytics to identify and capitalize on market opportunities and leading high-performing teams to deliver exceptional results. Kamal is a Microsoft certified data analyst and also a Microsoft certified trainer. He's skilled in Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Power BI, and Tableau. Also, databases like MySQL, programming language Python. I want to assure us today that we are in experience hands. He'll be taking us through a very practical session, and I want us to be ready to learn, ask our questions, and get more enlightened in data analytics for bankers. All right, so I will hand over to Kamal now. Good afternoon, Kamal.
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, Kamal.
Good afternoon, Titi. Please can you confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Kamal. Good
Right.
afternoon. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that great introduction. I trust we are doing well today. For the rest of us, if you can hear me, please kindly give me a thumbs up. Oh, nice. Thank you so much for that one. Welcome. Um, okay. There are about 54 of us on the call. I do hope we're pretty much excited to join in and have a great time learning today. The topic for today is around Excel, and in a moment I'll be sharing my screen to discuss a few things before we get started. All right. So, without further ado, I know today's Sunday. Um, we're looking forward to Monday, get ourselves sorted for the week and all. So I'll just get straight into it. So if you can see my screen, I'm just going to walk us through what we'll be talking about today. Okay. So the masterclass is centered on Excel, but there are certain key areas we just need to speak about. Okay. I'll start by talking about what are some of the expectations. So we're starting this masterclass with the assumption that at least you know how to make basic use of the Excel. This is not the first time you're interacting with Excel. However, even if this is the first time you're interacting with the Microsoft Excel tool, um, I would encourage that you stick around so that you even familiarize yourself with it. And then you can see some of the beautiful things you can do in terms of work with the Microsoft Excel tool. Okay. Then for those of us that even if we work with it on a day-to-day basis, trust me, today's session isn't going to be the regular sessions that we usually have on Excel. Today is going to come with a few twists to see how we can improve on our work deliverables and to also open our minds to the fact that there is more. This, right? There is more. This is just a masterclass. So that means we're just scoping a little out of a lot. All right. So it's more or less putting some drops of honey on your tongue and telling you that, okay, there's a whole jar somewhere else. Right. And to also encourage you to learn, to open your minds to it. So with that being said, today we'll be discussing Excel, and these are the key areas we'll be looking at. First, I'm going to open, of course, the Excel markup. This is just going to kind of introduce us to the interface, just have an understanding of what the interface is, just a quick intro. Then I'm going to clearly speak about certain areas, which is Excel table and range. We're going to identify what the difference is quickly. But at the core of it, we're going to introduce things like Power Query and importing data into Power Query and why we need Power Query. After doing that, we're going to look at merging tables. We're going to look at removing duplicates from our data and also conditional columns and more, all right, as time permits. And all of these things that we'll be working on will be centered around data reconciliation, all right? So there are times in the course of our jobs, either as bankers or people within finance, we need to reconcile accounts. So for instance, you give an invoice, and that invoice, you have a paid invoice, you have the invoice that was sent. So that means you have two pieces of document. And now it gets to a point where you need to compare if a particular invoice you sent was really paid. And if it was paid, did they pay the exact amount? Did they underpay the amount for the invoice? Was the invoice paid, or was it overpaid, or there was an issue? But you have two pieces of data, and then you want to reconcile the values. All right. Now, I'm sure there are different ways you would have done it in time past. But if this is something you do on a regular, part of what we'll be discussing today is how can we even automate the process in such a way that once you do it once, you can save your script and reuse it all over again. All right. But like I said, it's a master class. I'm going to introduce you to some of these concepts. We're going to work practically on it. And then, of course, I expect that you explore more. If possible, you reach out to us also to see how we can explore more in that regard. Now, having said that, before I proceed, I just want you to give me an idea of how well you know Excel. So in the chat box, on a scale of 1 to 10, pick a number, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. How well do you think you know Microsoft Excel? All right, so just drop that for me. Okay, beauty 5. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of 5s. I'm seeing 7, I'm seeing 6. Barakat Rahim at 7. Wow, 4. Okay, I like the fact that we're not entirely novice on the call. Okay, that's it. But like I said, even if you're entirely new, it's totally fine. Fantastic. All right. Now that we've established our competency levels, I think one person stands out in the person of Adekunle Remilokun with 7, or Rahimas as well as 7. Okay, that's great. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly proceed. So in the moment, I would like to confirm if you received the data sets. There's a data set that is meant to be shared on our group. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing a data set to the WhatsApp group right now. This is the data set we'll be using in the course of the class, okay? Okay, so if you are on the WhatsApp group, okay, I forwarded, Titi also forwarded. So we forwarded the same group's data sets. All right, so you're going to see Masterclass underscore invoice. That is the document we'll be using. That is the file we'll be using. So if you have that downloaded, please give me a thumbs up so that I know the number of people that have that data set. Okay. All right. One person. Adeola has. Okay, Adeola, your hand is up. Juliet, Adeola. Kindly unmute. Okay. I want to believe you're trying to do a thumbs up and then your hand went up. But if you need to speak, kindly unmute. Let me hear from you. Okay, David has the data set as well. Well done. All right. So I'm also going to open that data set while I share my screen. Okay. So please, if you can see my screen, right? Whenever you download a file from either your email or WhatsApp, in the as this case is, the first thing you need to do before you open it is go to that file. I've opened mine. Go to that file, for instance, right click on that file, then scroll all the way down to properties. You'll find properties at the bottom. Select properties, and right underneath this particular window where you have properties, on yours, you see something like unlock. All right. So I need you to tick on that unlock, apply, and say okay. Okay. So go to the file you downloaded from WhatsApp. Don't open it by double clicking. Right click on the file, scroll all the way down to properties, select properties. It's going to open up a new window for you. All right. Right click, select properties. It's going to open up a new window. So like this, right click, go down all the way to properties at the far bottom, tick unlock. You see unlock here. I have read only, I have hidden. I've done mine. Check the part that says unlock. If you have it, apply it and say okay. All right. So once you're done, you can open the Excel file. All right. So once you open the Excel file, you're going to see data for invoice reconciliation. Data for invoice reconciliation. Okay, so I'm seeing a hand up. Please, who is that? Adeola Juliet, your hand is still up. If it's an error, you can kindly put it down. I can also see somebody's hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, is it compulsory to do that? Because I opened the file straight away before you mentioned it, and I don't think I have any problem with it. Also, I then closed it and tried to do what you said, but I don't have a lock. I have it same as yours, hidden, and the other one.
Oh, okay,
So
that makes
is it something that we have to do, or is it just a good practice?
It's just a good practice because sometimes when you download these files from either your email or, for instance, a WhatsApp, the security on your system might make it inaccessible. So you need to do that. Then, of course, it's safe for your system to work on it. But for some reason, it doesn't happen all the time on all systems. But it's standard practice that you do it so that you are not constrained when you want to work on the file.
All right, thanks.
Yeah. All right. So Now, moving on, once you open this file, you should have something like this. Okay. You should have something like this. All right. But before going straight into it, of course, kindly mute your mics, please.
No.
All right. So, like the first thing I said is to familiarize ourselves with the Excel tool itself. So once you open your Excel tool, of course, the usual things that we have are quite a number of rows and columns, right? So Excel is made up of rows and columns. As you can see, the columns are labeled alphabetically from A all the way to XFD. So you have A and it runs all the way to XFD. Okay. So this makes up about 16,000 plus columns, 16K plus columns. Then we also have our rows, which run from 1 to over 1 million. So 1 million plus rows in Excel. And then for the other thing we need to also note, sorry, I know we're experts in this already, but just let's use this to warm up. Other things you need to also note is that the most powerful part of an Excel is the cell. And then we ask ourselves, what is even a cell? A cell is usually the intersection between the row and the column. So if this is a column and then a row, the intersection between this will give us a cell. So for instance, this is a cell. This is also a cell. So we have a lot of cells, and all these cells are intersections between rows and columns. And that is how every cell gets its name by default. So if the intersection between column F and row 2 is a cell, that means the name of that particular cell is F2. Just running quickly. Now, there's also the part of Excel that I call my toolbox. Your toolbox is basically your tabs and your ribbons. You agree with me, we have various tabs, and then we also have our ribbons. So these are your tabs, all right? So they classify all the other features of the Excel or functions that you can use within the Excel. So here where you have those particular features, we call this particular part of the Excel our ribbon. And then the top, which of course does the categorization of this, is called the tab, okay? All right. So these are our tabs. So we have file, home, insert, draw, page layouts, and many others. Tabs, then everything within it, which is the second part, just a line below the tab, is the ribbon. Now, that being said, so for today, the goal for us is to look at two transactions, right? First, if you notice from the left, these are the invoices we sent. So the assumption is you work either within a financial firm or a
We can't
bank.
see your screen. We can't see your screen. You're not.
You can't see my screen.
Yes, we can't see your screen.
Oh, I can see your screen.
I think that must have been your network, but I'll stop sharing and share again.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, the screen is there.
Okay. All right. So the assumption is that we work within a business, and in that business, we work with payment information, right? In this particular situation or this scenario is that we have a list of invoices that we send to our clients, right? And then we also have the paid invoices. So a record of our paid invoices that's also kept by our partner. So let's say, for instance, we as a business, we send these invoices, and then the bank records information about the invoices that have been paid. So we sending a particular invoice means that this is the invoice that is yet to be paid. So these are receivables, as the case may be. This will now be that information about transactions that we've received credit for. Okay? Now, a lot of times, especially when we're dealing with a high volume of transactions, we are required to now ensure that payments balance, whereby an invoice sent is matched with an invoice for the paid value. All right. And then you have a lot of these transactions and you want to do them frequently to identify what invoice was paid or not. Now, there are various ways we can go about it. However, what we'll be looking at today is Power Query and see how we can first simplify the process. Okay. So first, we're going to see how can we simplify the process of reconciliation. Second, we're also going to explore, please let's mute our mics, how we can automate the reconciliation process. Okay. And then finally, explore analytics so that we can see how we can analyze and report. Right? Okay. This is something that I thought of as a bonus. So if time permits, we'll explore this, but I'll try and introduce it. But at the core of it, the scope of today is to ensure we do all of these first two. So as time permits, we'll see how we can just bring this into it. Okay. Now, with that being said, the tool we're going to explore in achieving this is what we call Microsoft Power Query. So I also based on experience, I've been able to identify that a lot of us use Excel, okay, but we don't explore this. We are very good in just working with our normal Excel, but a lot of us, either we don't know that this exists or we really don't utilize it, right? So we're going to be exploring the Power Query. Now, to go right into it, like I said, we're going to identify two things before we proceed. We're going to understand what a table is and a range. And thankfully, we have quite a number of people that score above 4 in terms of competency. So my quick question before I explain this, just in case nobody knows, would be, in your own opinion, can we call this a table or do we see it as a range? The one on the left, the sent invoice. So you can raise your hand or you could just type out your answer in the chat box.
They are both tables.
They are both tables. Fantastic. If I may ask you, why do you think they are tables?
Table is a combination of column and row.
Okay. I don't think that is correct, but that is not a specific definition of a table within Excel context.
Because they are formatted.
Fantastic. Okay, so because they are formatted. So for instance, if I copy out this data and I do this and I add some formatting to this, is it safe to call this a table as well?
This is a range.
This is a range. Fantastic. Thank you so much for that contribution. All right. So a quick explanation for those of us who really cannot tell what the difference is between a table and a range. I'm just going to quickly talk about that. Right. So sometimes we see things like this, right? We see our tables or data being formatted in this manner, and then we also see it in this manner and also this. So the fact that I see this drop down here does not mean it's a table, right? And the fact that your data is grouped within rows and columns does not necessarily make it a table within the Excel context, right? So the difference between this and this, I'm going to project and speak to, but then also tell you what the technical difference are as well. So for instance, this is what we call a range, all right? And then this is what we call a table. Okay, now why do we call this a range and this a table? So if you look closely, right, when I click into this guy and you look to the top of my ribbon, nothing changes. So look at the last tab here, says power pivot. All right, but the moment I click into this particular one, what do you see? Table design. And so if I click on this particular tab, table design, I then also have what? More things that I can work with within my ribbon. So additional features that I can work with on the table. However, if I click into this particular one, it disappears, right? Now, what are some of the advantages that this presents? So for instance, a table, the moment I come into a table now, a table has specialized functions. So it's special. It automatically increases, right? So, and also shrinks with your data. So as your data increases, the table will expand with it. As the data reduces, it's going to shrink with it. If you make use of a formula, it's applied across board. So let's say I'm just even going to do something funny. I want to multiply all my amounts by 5%. So multiplied by 0.05. Okay, now look at this. It multiplied everything by 0.05. I multiplied this by 0.05. But when I come to a range and I say equal to this amount multiplied by 0.05, what happens? Just this is recognized. It did not know that it is expected to add an additional column for me. That didn't happen, right? It did not calculate for each row. If I need to do it, I'll have to what? Either double click to extend this formula down or drag it as we usually do. All right. Now, this is just a quick example to show you the difference. Now, the next thing is what happens if I want to also convert my range to a table? So all you need to do is highlight the entire data sets. All right. How do we highlight? We click on the where we have that data, hold Control and press A just once. So Control A just once. If you hold down A, you're going to pick out the entire sheet, and that's not what you want to do. So click a cell where that data is contained, hold your Control and press A, and that highlights that particular table. So it's just a tab, and then you do Control T. Control T is a short key for creating a table. So once I do a Control T and I say, okay, what happens? This range becomes a table. So notice once I click into it, it also now has table design, correct? So basically that's how you go about it. And then once you have that, you can go as far as renaming this table. So by default, it gave it table 3 as the name. So I can choose to say new table, for instance. Okay? And that's the name of my table, right? So if I was to repeat the same process here, I say this multiplied by 0.05, what happens? it automatically what increases with the data and calculates for each row. All right. So that's that. I think I have Chikuka.
Yeah, can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. See, okay. Does Control Z undo that process? Because I think I've tried it sometime and it did not work.
Does Control Z undo which of the processes, sir?
The table, to create the table from the range.
No, Control T, not Z. T. Control T. T for T. T for
No. T.
So
I know it is to create the table, but if I want to undo it, for example, this table you just did, if I want
yes.
to undo it, how do I? Does Control Z do that, or there's another?
There's another way to go about it. So if this was the last process you were able to do, or the last step you took, that's creating the table. If you do a Control Z, it will undo it. But say for example, I created this table and I went about doing other things on the same sheet. Control Z would not undo it. Control Z means undo. So the last step, it's going to undo it. So if you have quite a number of steps, it should keep on doing those steps. But to convert this back to a range, okay, which is your question, click into the table, go to your table design, and then you see convert to range. Once you click on convert to range, it says, do you want to convert the table to a normal range? I would say yes. And then this is now a range. So even when I click into it, there is no table design anymore. All right. So that's that. But that's, of course, not the conversation for today. It's just for us to also understand what this thing is. All right. The conversation for today is centered around this. So basically, we've been able to understand our Excel quickly. We now understand Excel tables and ranges. Now we're going to quickly jump into Power Query and how to import data. Then we move to merging tables, duplicating and removing duplicates, and conditional formatting, which all of this will be used to better understand this the business case we have today and achieve the set goals we have. All right, so back to this. Now, like I said, we have our business where we sent out invoices. Now, these are the invoices that the bank confirms they've been paid. Okay, now we also said that we'll leverage on Power Query. No, so now what is Power Query? So Power Query is a data preprocessor software. It's a tool for data preprocessing, right? In very simple terms, Power Query is a data preprocessing tool that supports data cleaning and transformations. All right. It's a data preprocessing tool that supports data cleaning and transformation. We use it within the business intelligence context. Okay. So we use it a lot for business intelligence tasks. All right. Please, can we unmute? Can we mute our mics? I think somebody is having a great time eating his Sunday chicken. I can hear you suck out the marrow from your chicken. If you are not sending some to all of us here, how many are we on this thing? Please mute your mic. We have 60 people. So if you know you're not going to send chicken to 60 people, I beg you, mute your mic before we get hungry and locate your house. All right. So Power Query, that's what we'll be doing, right? So how do you now launch Power Query? like we said, some people don't even know how to go about it. They've been using this tool, but they don't know how to go about it. So for Power Query, there are different ways to utilize it or to launch it. But because we are working from tables, we have two tables, and these tables are the sources of our data. All we need to do is click on a source. So clicking on a source will be that this is a table, right, which holds some data for me. So this table is my data source. So I just click into a cell. Once you click into a cell, you navigate to data tab. You see there is a data tab here. All right. So click on the data tab. Once you click on the data tab, you see get data. Now, depending on the version of Excel, and I'm hoping that we have people that have versions later than at least 2016 or 2016 and above. All right. So I'm hoping that we do have that. So now for mine, you see get data. That is the first icon. Once I click the drop down for get data, so it shows you that you can get data from different sources, right? So how you can import data. The first says file. So that means I can get from Excel files. I can connect to an Excel file, but this time around, I'm connecting to a table, all right? I can connect to PDF, I can connect to folder, and many others. But what I want to do right now is to connect to a table. So I'm going to from other sources. So from other sources, I can see from table/range. So I select from table/range. Once you select from table/range, what do you see? It says invoice sent. Now, invoice sent has been imported into what? Power Query. Now, look at my
Yes,
cursor.
Mr. Kamal, please.
Yeah.
I can see mine is grayed out, and I don't know why.
Yours is grayed out.
Yes, after I
Which
clicked
is
on
grayed out?
the
Is it?
table, the ribbons, I can see get data, get external data, and I saw the options from access web, from text, from other
Yeah.
sources, but
Okay.
they are all grayed out.
So the file, I said after downloading the file, did you go to properties to unlock your file?
Yes,
Okay.
I
Now,
did unlock and okay.
okay. Okay. Before you open the Excel file.
Hello.
Exactly.
You should
Okay.
click
Now,
on from table. You should from table there.
I
oh, she
did
Under
has.
the
click
file,
on
you
the
see from
table
table.
first. I did click on the table
From
first
table,
on
from
one of
table.
the.
No.
Okay. So, you know what we'll do? We're going to do. Can you share your screen? Are you using your computer?
I need to switch first.
So when you switch first, let me know while I
All right.
proceed, and
All right.
then we'll walk you through. All right.
All right.
So just signal me once you switch, so that at least we can see and guide you. All
Okay.
right. So now that you've done
Can
this,
you take this step again? This step on how you got to this place. Please.
all
Thank you.
right. So I'm going to take this step again. So I have my table here. This is the source, right? The idea is for you to target the source. If I click on this cell, this is not the source of my data because this is the entire sheet. The source of my data first is this table, because the goal for me is to compare the invoice that I sent on this table and the ones that have been paid. So this is data source one. I can call it my source one. And then this is my source two, right? So that means I'm also going to come and pull this data in to my Power Query. This is source two. So source one, click into the cell. Then you go to data, your data tab, which is at the top. So depending on the version you have, my data tab is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the seventh tab. Once I get to my seventh tab, you see get data. So for some of us, we will probably see from table right there. For me to access from table, I need to come to get data, expand the options, scroll all the way down to from other sources. Then from other sources, I'm going to see from table/range. Then I select it. So once I select it, it's going to open Power Query Editor for me. Now I have Power Query Editor opened with my data. Okay. Now, once you have your data, you notice, okay, this is just one of the data sets. The next question is, how do I import the other table? Do I close this one and come back, or what exactly? No. So then what you need to do is, since you have multiple files, so right now we basically imported, okay, we have imported, what do you call it? This data. So we've done our introduction to Power Query, importing data. We've imported one data set. Next thing for us is to import the second one. So we're learning how to do multiple data importation. So all you have to do is, from the ribbon here, you see close and load. All right? Don't click on the top. Once you click on close and load from the top, it's just going to close it and create a table for you and take you back to Excel. So what I need you to do is click the drop down. When you click the drop down, you see close and load, and then you also see close and load too. So what this close and load means is close Power Query Editor, because we're no longer in Excel. We're in Power Query Editor now. So the first close and load means close and load Power Query Editor and create a table. This other one, close and load to, will give you different options of where you can load to. All right. So select close and load to, which is the second option. And once you select close and load to, you see that you can load to a table, you can load to pivot table reports, pivot charts, and also only connection. So what I need you to do is just select only connection, because we just want to create a connection now. Only create connection, and then you say, okay. Now, to the far right of your screen, you will see queries and connections, right? Now, the next thing I need you to do is to also say that you want to import source 2.
Please,
So
I've switched also you not go too far.
okay, if you've switched, I know. So let's take a pause here. I want everybody to at least get to this level. Let's quickly take a look at your screen and see how it goes. So share your screen, please.
Can you see?
Yes, I can see your screen. So
Yeah.
click, yes, into the cell, then data, go to the top.
Here's the data. And here's the ribbon, all grayed out.
I think it's because of the version. I'm facing the same challenge. It's
Okay.
2013 that.
What version of Excel is
It's
this?
the same, it's the same.
It's 2013. I have the same challenge.
It's the same. Mine is 2013 as well.
Oh dear. 2013. So from other sources. Can you resave this file again? Save as.
Okay. Here we are, same thing.
Okay, click outside that table. All right. So from other sources.
You won't see import from table.
You won't see import from table. I don't think you have it on your version.
Only because I think the area I clicked on is not a table.
No, that's not it. I think this particular version doesn't have. Just hold on for a bit. Let's see. Business sources. I think you don't have that feature on this.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll stop sharing then.
Yeah, apologies. Please try and update it.
I'll just switch to Microsoft Excel. I hope it has that 365.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome. All right. So now we are here, we've loaded this. So the next step for us is to also target this table because we want to import it into Power Query. So click on the second source. All right. Click on the second source and also repeat the same process. Get data from other sources, now table. Okay. So once you do it, you'll notice that you have the two of them. The sent invoice is here and the paid invoice is also here. Okay. My apologies. I need to do something before now. So I'm going to stop. You know, I was doing a demo and I added a particular column to this. So let me just close this. So this column is not meant to be there. So if you still have this, please delete it so we don't bring it in. We can delete it from there, but I don't want us to go through that route. Okay. So you should just have invoice and amount. You don't need the other one. So once you're able to take it out, import it again, get data from other sources, table and range. Right. So you should have invoice sent and invoice paid. Please, if you have invoice sent and invoice paid in your Power Query, let me see a thumbs up.
Please, I don't have it. I don't know how you're able to import those two tables together. Can you take back that step again? I only
So,
have
do you
I
have
have invoice sent. Yes, I have the invoice sent.
So if you have invoice sent, you see your first icon here has close and load, right? Click the drop down, select close and load to. Close and load to. When you see close and load to, and you select close and load to, it's going to open this window for you, this import data window. So what I need you to do is select only create connection. Don't say table for now. Only create connection and just click OK. Now, this will bring you back to Excel, right? Now that you're in Excel, you now go to the other table. The other table is this paid invoices. Now you select the paid invoices, right? And then you repeat the same process again. Get data from other sources, and then from table and range. Once you click it, it's going to open the Power Query. So I don't want to repeat the same process again so that I'm not importing two tables. Beauty, your hand is up.
So good afternoon. I've gotten it with the explanation you just did. I've been able to
Okay.
import the other table. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're welcome. I think Nafisa's hand was also up. Have you been able to sort it out? Okay. So I think we're good. All right. So now you should have invoice sent and invoice paid. Now, what is the goal for us? We want to check if all the invoices we sent were paid, right? And to do that, we need to put these values side by side. Now to check if truly. But if we have quite a number of data sets, how do we even go about it seamlessly? Maybe before now you use things like VLOOKUP and all of those things. But there are other ways that you can go about it, whereby you can even reuse all these processes. So since I have the invoice that I sent, I want to be able to see if the ones paid match. So I'll click on the invoice sent, and then I'm going to do a merge. Okay. So if you look to your ribbon here, you're going to see something called merge queries. Merge queries. Whose mic is unmuted? Or somebody's mic is unmuted. Okay. So you're going to see merge queries. So click the drop down. So there are two ways to do merge, because we want to merge the two files. So we have merge queries and we have merge as new. Merge queries would not create a new file for you. Merge as new is going to create a combination of the two files as a new file. So we should have 3 files now. So what I would recommend is we keep invoice sent and invoice paid and create a more consolidated table that has invoice sent and invoice paid together. So I will recommend merge as new. So I select merge as new. Now, for this to happen, you need to identify a particular column that these two tables share, because these are invoices, and invoice numbers are unique identifiers for every invoice. There are no two invoices that share the same number, right? So if I raise an invoice for this payment this week, even if, for instance, I raise an invoice for diesel for this week, even if I'm going to pay for diesel next week, it's not going to be the same invoice number. So as I'm raising an invoice, that uniquely identifies a particular invoice, right? For a payment. So I'll also raise another one, even if it's for the same product. Now, this is the invoice sent. The unique identifier for every invoice is this column, so I click on it. Now, what do I want to merge it with? Invoice paid. So I click this drop down here and select invoice paid. All right, invoice paid. So I want to check whether the invoice sent matches the invoice paid. So I will then leverage on these unique identifiers, because if I can identify this 20,001 and match it to 20,001, then I'll check if the amounts tally. So I'm going to select this guy as well. So invoice sent, you select the column, you come here, select the drop down invoice paid, select the column. All right. Now, the next thing is to say join kind. So this is a masterclass. I can't go really in depth into this because it's going to eat up our time. There are different ways to join tables. That's all this is saying. Left outer, right outer, full outer, inner, left anti. In your free time, you can read up on this. But all this is saying all from the first, matching from second. So it's saying, give me all the invoices sent and then match it. This is the second. Match it with the ones that are paid, which is this. So it's going to list out all the invoices. Then it will match it with the ones that are paid. That's the left outer. That's what it's going to do. Then to the far bottom here, it says the selection matches 268 of 460 rows from the first. So the invoices we sent are 460. What matches is 268. That means only 268 invoices were paid out of 460 that we sent. And I will just say, okay. Now, once you say, okay, it says what? Merge one. Beauty, your hand is up.
So please, when after importing the other table, I didn't get how you started all this second phase of merging the table. I don't know. Can you please come over it again so that I can practice it once you are doing it? Thank you.
Okay. So I also need to point, we have, our time is limited. So I'll need all of us to pay rapt attention to this so that we're not constantly going back and not maximizing the time that we have. So the merging is, once you have these two tables, invoice sent and invoice paid, we want to merge it and get a consolidated table where all the values from the invoice sent and that's which are for the invoice paid are together, and we can put these values side by side to see who paid or not, or which invoice was paid or not, or even if the values are the same. So I said select invoice sent. On your ribbon, from your home ribbon, you see from your home tab, you see merge queries. Expand merge queries and select merge queries as new. So merge queries as new, once you click on merge queries as new, the first thing you selected was the invoice sent. That's why you have invoice sent here. Now, this is what is contained within invoice sent. These are the columns: invoice, client name, and amount. And then I select the column because this is the invoice number that uniquely identifies an invoice. The second is, what am I merging it with? I'm merging it with another table. What is the name of the table? Invoice paid. I select invoice paid. Based on what column? I want to check the invoices that were paid. So I click on this. Then it tells you what matches. And then you click on OK. Once you click on OK, you should have merge one. Okay, merge one. So for this merge one, I can rename it. You can just double click in here. I can call this recon. I can call it recon. All right. I double click in here, it becomes editable. I renamed it as recon. Now, next, you'll notice that the invoice is here, the name of the client, the amount, and then you have invoice paid here, showing table, table, table. Then to the far end, it shows you an icon with an arrow pointing left and an arrow pointing right. So I need you to click on that arrow. So when you click on the arrow, you notice a window opens and it says expand and aggregate. What we want to do is to expand our table so that we can see the two tables because we merge them. So let's see all the values contained in those two tables. Now, once you have that, it tells you, okay, do you want to expand all the columns? That's why you see select all columns. So all the columns from the first table and all the columns from the second table. In most times, we really don't want to see all the columns. There are specific columns we want to see. So I'm going to uncheck this. So what would I like to see? I already have the invoice number. Invoice number is fine. I don't need to have two columns with invoice number. It wouldn't make sense. But I want to see the amount of the other table. So I already have amount on my first table. I want to see amount of my second table. So I'm just going to check this. So just show me the amount. That's what matters. Then the last thing here says use original column name as prefix. What is this? It's saying, okay, this new table, should I use the name of the table as a prefix for each column? And I'm going to show you what happens. I'll leave it there and I say, okay. All right. Now see, once you do that, this is amount from the sent invoice. Now the prefix is saying invoice paid, which is this table, dot amount. So we know this amount is for the second table. So the prefix is helping us differentiate the column amount on the first table and that of the second table. All right. So by mere looking already, you are beginning to see where we have issues. So if I look at this guy, I see invoice was paid. Here I can see that this is a duplication, right? These are duplicate values. So I'm already noticing that I have duplications that I'll have to work around. Now, second thing you also notice, you see, okay, invoice paid. That means this particular invoice, we raised it, but null value suggests that it was not paid because there's no corresponding value in there. If you look to the third one, Adams and Sons, you see that the amount we raised For some reason, they paid more. All right. For some reason, they paid more. You see, Adams. So these are certain considerations that we need to look into when we begin our reconciliation. Okay, when we begin our reconciliations. So now, it is safe to say that we understand Power Query. We've been able to import data, not just one table, but multiple tables. We've also come to the part of merging tables, right? And we've basically done that. Now, what next are we going to do? We're going to learn how to eliminate duplicates from our data, from Power Query. Now, coming back here, we've expanded. We also notice that there are duplicates. Now, to remove duplicates, all you need to do is go to that column that you want to prioritize, because invoices are meant to have unique values, right? They're unique values. So they uniquely identify each invoice. This is, of course, a duplicate invoice. And that means across this file, there's a possibility that there are other duplicates. I can see another one right here, 18 and 19. So I need to eliminate duplicates. To eliminate duplicates, click on this column, right-click. Once you right-click, you see Remove Duplicates. Then you select Remove Duplicates. Okay. Go to the column Invoice, right-click on the column Invoice. You will see Remove Duplicates. Select it. It's going to eliminate those duplicate values. Okay. Once you've achieved that, the next thing you want to do is see how you can make this presentation better, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add a conditional column, a column that would quickly check the value here and the value here and tell us if it's settled or not, the value here and value here and tell us if it's oversettled or undersettled, right? So there's a possibility that an invoice can be overpaid. There's a possibility that an invoice can be underpaid. There's a possibility that an invoice will be paid exactly or not paid at all. And at a glance, we can see instances where invoices that were not paid, what they look like. So we have null, null, null. Some are overpaid, some under. Now, so we're going to create what we call a conditional column. So to create a conditional column, you look to the top of your screen and you find Add Column. So it's a tab. Select Add Column. So when you select Add Column, you see Conditional Column. A disclaimer here is that if your version is old or older than mine, you possibly would not see this. So I recommend an upgrade immediately after this class. I think this is also a learning point from the masterclass. All right, having to go with the times. So conditional column. So select conditional column. So that means we're creating some columns based on conditions. So once you select conditional column, you're going to see add column, add conditional column. So now the new column name, I can just give this column name, maybe transaction status. Okay, I can name this transaction status or status, whichever works for you. I'll just leave it as status. So the first thing I need you to do is, you said name of column. So it's telling me which column do I want to use. So I can say first, I'm going to look at invoice paid dot amount. I want to first look at the ones that are not paid. So invoice paid amount, that means this particular one, invoice paid amount. If invoice paid amount, the operator, so we have different operators, equals to, not equals to, greater than, not greater than, and equals to. So for the first one, I say this amount if it equals to the value null, as we have it, not paid. So invoice paid dot amount, because we merge, anywhere that I can see null is equal to null, then classify it as not paid. The next one here, you now see add clause. I'm going to add another clause. Then I'm going to say invoice. For instance, I can go invoice dot paid amount. If invoice paid is greater than, now you can see the operator has changed. So I'm now saying the invoice now paid to us, if it's greater than the amount we sent. So now this time around, you notice for null, I typed it. But now I don't want to type the value. I want it to be dynamic. I want it to check by itself. So I can come here and click this drop down and select a column. Okay? I'll select a column and I'll specify what column exactly. So I'll click the drop down and I'll select the column of the amount on the invoice sent table. So I'll select this. So remember, this particular amount is for invoice paid. So that's why we have INV paid dot amount. So we're now saying the paid amount, if it's greater than the amount we sent, what should now be the output? Can anyone tell us? If the invoice that was paid
Overpaid.
is greater than the amount, overpaid, right?
Yes.
Is this correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So I'll also add another column clause here and say this same invoice paid amount, if it's less than, I'm changing this to column again so that it's more dynamic, and then I'll choose the amount. So if the invoice paid is less than the amount we communicated, that means this is what? Under paid. So
And it is equal to.
you said? The operator should be less than for the last thing.
I didn't say it.
Okay. So invoice paid equal to null, not paid, because there's no corresponding value to show any transaction was made for that particular invoice. Else if invoice is greater than the amount is overpaid, the paid invoice is less than the amount we communicated is underpaid. Now, anything else suggests that that invoice was paid, because we've been able to look at these three conditions that would classify the status of that transaction. And the three ones are if it was not paid, if it was overpaid, and if it was underpaid. Now, anything that does not fall into this bracket means that it is paid. So else will now be what? Paid. And then we say, okay. All right. Now we say, okay. All right. So looking at this, status paid, 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 not paid, overpaid. And then let's look at it. Let's also look at it ourselves. Let's do an eye test. 395.7, 395 paid. 275.5, 275 unpaid. 375.0, null, not paid. 225.2, 227.2 overpaid. Okay? And so on and so forth. So this can run as many as possible. Okay? So now it is safe to say that we have that sorted. Now, we've basically done removing duplicates. We have introduced conditional and more. So now this is the more part. So now that we've done all of this, we might get curious, right? Our curiosity might lead us to say, okay, let's even do a report. Some questions could be, how many unpaid invoices? Okay. These are questions that you might want to know. How many paid invoices? How many were paid? How many were overpaid? And how many were underpaid? Okay. So now you might want to now begin to think in this direction. Now, to answer these questions, you can do it in many places that you so desire, right? Now, what next thing you need to do is to exit Power Query, okay? Because Power Query has basically done this job for you. Now, before we exit it, let me tell you the interesting thing about Power Query. This particular thing you've done, right? All the steps you've performed, all the steps have been so benefits of Power Query. So now, at the core of it, I'm just highlighting these benefits. Benefits of Power Query. Queries can be reused. So if this is something you do every month or every week, let's say you're even part of a reconciliation and settlement team, and you do this maybe every day based on the volume of transaction, just know that once you're able to perform this on 2 files, or a table, or a file, or a folder, you don't need to do this again. You can reuse these particular steps again, right? So now it means that you're on smooth sailing. You go to work, you've already done your classifications, you've written the queries, how you want it to run. All you need to do is just reapply the steps, because every step you perform on Power Query, you can see applied steps. It's recorded. We expanded invoice, we removed duplicates, we added conditional columns, right? For this one, invoice sent, all we did was to bring it and it changed type itself. We didn't do anything here as well. This is the one we did, right? Where source, we expanded this, we removed duplicates, and all of this saved. Okay, now, next thing I need you to do is go home. Click on home, please. Now, What other benefits do we have for Power Query? Over 360 transformations can be done. So now we just did conditional columns, but it does not end here. If you look here, we could remove columns, we can keep rows, we can split columns, we can replace values, we can merge, append. So there's something we call appending queries as well. If you come to transformation, you can transpose, you can reverse rows, you can count. There are so many, a plethora of things you could do in terms of data transformation or pre-processing, as the case may be. Achieve seamless automation for data pre-processing. Like I said, reusing this. So all you need to do is, so as long as there's a new data set, you are just to put that data set in either a folder. If you connected to a table, just update the tables with the new values and do a data refresh. And all of a sudden, automatically, all this would be applied to the new data sets. And then connect to multiple data sources. From here alone, you notice, let's say, new source. All right, from home, like I said, go home, new source, expand. You see that you can connect to Excel, text, XML, JSON, PDF, folder. You can connect to databases, SQL Server, Access, Analysis Services, other sources, web, OData feed, or ODBC. So depending, blank query, so many, right? Data sources you can connect to. All right. So it doesn't just end here. Now, next, click on close and load, right? So all along we've been what? Close and load to, correct? Now, what I need you to do is just click on close and load and see what happens. By default, when you click on close and load, it loads a table for you. All right. It's going to load a table for you. So what can you see here? Can you see the recon that we created? The sheet 1 is our first sheet that has our raw data. Let me rename sheet 1 to raw data. Now, the other one we created by merging is recon, and then we have invoice number, clients, amounts, invoice amounts, invoice paid amounts, this, and status, this. Okay. So if this is something you don't even need, you can choose to hide, for instance. I didn't want to hide it there because I wanted everybody to see how it all plays out. But let's say I hide it. Now, we can see that, okay, this was paid, this was not paid, and so on and so forth. All right? Okay. So that's that. Now, with this information, we can even begin to answer those questions that we spoke about. Okay. So now, let's say we're at our raw data. For some reason, we have new invoices. Okay. These new invoices were now paid. All you need to do is, for instance, if new invoices were paid, right? All you need to do is come here, add those new sets of invoices that were paid. I'm sorry, new invoices that were sent. Come down here, add the ones that were paid, save this file, go to data, and run a refresh. It's going to update the values. So let me even try and manufacture something and see. So we have what? 460 rows loaded. So if I come here and I say invoice, let's say invoice 2020500. Amount. And Italian. Amount $300. added here. And I save this file and I come to data and I refresh. What can I see? On Recon, see where I made it. I made the changes where raw data, but it's updated where Recon. Now, you can see I'm here, right? This is where I made the change. Kamal and Detalium, $300. I updated to this. What can I see? This. So if I go to my Recon, what can you see? Kamal and Detalium, 300 paid. Let me check in our class. Let's see who I would say did not. Let me put Beauty. Let me say Beauty did not pay our invoice. I'm going to say invoice 205001. Beauty and Excel, $400. And I save this and I run a refresh and I go back to Recon. Beauty and Excel not paid. All right. So that's that. That's the beauty of what Power Query can do for you. Now that we have these tables, we could just do some of the basic things that we usually do. You can choose to come here and say insert pivot table, select a pivot table. I can do it on this same sheet or create a new sheet. Let me just say new sheet. And then I can select status and amount. Okay. So here I can see number of paid or the value of the ones that are paid, the ones that are not paid, and that's which were paid. Here I can call this status, double click. I'll see the value as well. If I want to add a count, I can still drag this amount into values and then change it from sum. Just double click here, change from sum to count, and then okay. Okay, I can remind. Call this invoice count. And double click here, total value. Okay, can highlight this guy. Just do some format so that it looks like money. Then we have this. So at a glance, we can see what the value is and how many. If you so desire, you can also introduce a chart, insert pivot chart, choose any pivot chart you want.
So actually, how did you introduce counts into it? Because I just saw like
So
you just did
this
some.
counts, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you come to amount again and drag amount into values
Oh,
on
okay.
your
I thought.
pivot chart.
Okay, thank you.
Then you double click and change the aggregation from sum to count. And then you have this. Then this sheet, I can call it my analysis. Then I want to add a chart, whichever chart you so desire to work with.
Excuse me, how did you duplicate the amount?
The amount.
Yeah, so you did the amount first, then you did it again, and then changed the other one to count. How did you duplicate it?
So you go to the amount, click on the amount,
Yeah.
again, drag it into values. So you're putting
Right.
two amounts into values.
Okay, thank
And
you.
then you notice you have sum of amount, sum of amount. So you double click the column header and change the aggregation from sum to count. So you see you have different aggregations. If you want to do an average of it, you do.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yep.
Hello. Yeah,
I'm
I
with
have
you.
a question.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
sir.
about this merging. Though I understood everything you've taught very well, but I'm trying to do my merging, but I'm not seeing that merge into a single table. Okay, so if I click on merge, I'm only seeing what's this? Okay, let me do it. I'm only seeing a merge, but if I click on the merge after I've selected the unique identifiers, the OK button is not selected, it's not highlighted, it's not
You have
active.
to
I think
select
that's the right word.
you have to select the two columns. So invoice number on the
Yes, I
first
did.
for both of them.
Yes, I did.
Okay, if you are using your computer, we can look at it again. Okay.
Okay, I'll get back to you. Let me connect with my system.
All right. Could do that.
And there's no time. All right.
So all these other ones are just extras, right? Which I believe we're experts at. Chat cycle.
Yeah, hello, sir. Is this being recorded?
Yes, sir. This is being recorded. I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, because I think when the other participants showed our screen, the recording screen.
No, it's still recorded. So basically, this is
All right.
a simple report that you can have by leveraging your Power Query. You see, it's simplified. So for those of us that already use things like VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, and the likes, you notice this comes a little bit easier, right?
Hello, sir. Can I share my screen now? Is it possible?
Yes, you can share your screen now.
All right, thank you. Let me just do that. Okay. Look at what I'm saying. Look at the
Yes.
mesh. Can you hear me?
I can't see your screen.
Look at the mesh queries.
Okay.
Can you see
All
my
right.
screen now?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Look at the mesh queries. Right. This is the first one. Then the one on top is the one of paid, the paid invoice. So I will select in the sent invoice here. So if I click here, this OK tab is not active. But I understood what you did, but it's not active here. I don't know why. I've tried to find my way around it.
I want you to start with the sent invoice first. So cancel that.
Okay.
So click
let me
on
start
send.
with this one, sent.
All right, now
All right.
merge queries.
Mesh queries. Okay.
Now select invoice column. No. Go
You're
click
supposed to
on
select the column first.
select the column on the table. Look at the table there. No, where you are. Yes,
Yes.
select that.
This way there?
No. This window that you have where we have merge. Yes. No.
Column number just there in front of you.
This merge.
Yes.
Where you have
where
the
you
invoice number. Where you have the invoice numbers.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay,
Yes.
I select this. Yeah, can you
Yes, click on it. Click on it. Exactly.
Okay.
Now go to the drop down again. The one below. Select paid. Now click on invoice number again on that.
Okay.
And then you say okay.
Okay. Wow.
Because these are the columns that you wanted to compare, or these are the columns you wanted to merge the tables with. Do you understand?
Yes.
Exactly. So because this is a column that they share. The two tables share this column, right? They have this column.
Okay.
Yeah. How do I put it? It's a common column that is shared between the two tables. So that is where you do your merge. Just like when you are doing things like VLOOKUP, your lookup value is usually maybe a unique value shared by those two tables, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So use that whenever you're doing a merge. Look at, okay, what is that unique column that these two tables share that I can join them with, right? In this situation, we have invoice. So if you're working with employee data, you're going for employee ID. If you're going for certain transaction, you can go for transaction ID. Okay. If it's, let's say, banking details, you go BVN, things like that.
Yes. But it's supposed to,
Yeah,
what we did there, it's supposed to to populate the other table
Yes. So
values here.
now
It's not supposed
the
to be
next thing
table.
is, I think when the video comes, you have to watch the video and see all the steps. But where you have new column, can you see an icon at the top, an arrow pointing to the left and right? New column, yes, the column header. So you have where your
Yes.
table.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
exactly. So click that.
Okay.
Now, here we said we have to expand. We already have our invoice on the existing table or our current table, as the case may be. So we uncheck it. So we don't want two invoice columns on the table. So uncheck that, select all columns. Now just check amount, just amount. Aha, then okay. Fantastic. So that's what happened. So when you watch the videos, you could follow.
Yeah,
all
I can
that.
continue from here.
Yeah, fantastic. All right.
Thank you, sir.
You're
Right.
welcome.
Let me
Any
stop
more
sharing.
questions?
Yeah, I've got a question, Kamal.
Okay.
You know, from the start on the Power Query, right? When we got to the merge option, are you familiar with relationships?
Yes.
Is this merging similar to relationship, or do we use merge because we have the two tables in one workbook? Because what I would have thought is if I had to do this, ideally, if say the two tables were two different files, or then I would bring one into Power Query and then probably do a relationship. Does that work in this scenario, or is this the only way to do it? Because I did enjoy this method and I understood it. But is using, because I'm still new with relationships as well, is it sort of the same thing, or do you use them in different scenarios?
I think it depends on the scenario, but they are not the same thing, right? For depending on the scenario. So for this particular one, relationship is not going to work, because for relationships, all you're trying to do is you want to create a situation whereby from one table I can access the values of the other table and create a report. So more or less like creating a handshake between two tables. Okay. For this particular one, we're trying to match the columns side by side, more or less juxtaposing two columns, and then check if these values are same across these two tables. If they are, then do a classification for me. But for a relationship, all you're trying to do is I'm trying to link two tables so that I can create an overarching report. I think,
but if you create the table with relationship, so if I did relationship and I did the relationship, say invoice ID and invoice ID, it would then make it one table, just like it did here, right? And then when I load it, when I close and load, it would then open it as one table. And then can't I then carry on this process that you showed us?
okay, so when we talk about relationships, to be very clear, are we talking about data modeling? So for instance,
oh, sorry, can you go back? Because I think I just seen the relationship at the top right. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
At the top there.
No, I want to show you.
Okay.
So we have data, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is relationship.
That's the one, yeah.
So you now say you want to create new relationships. So I come here and I select the two tables.
Yeah, but usually I wouldn't do it here. Usually it will be from the beginning, where when we open Power Query.
Yeah, so like that's why I'm going to my raw data to do it. So this is like the assumption that we're doing it from the beginning.
Okay.
Right. So you come in here. Please, for those of us, so that we don't confuse the customer. So I have two tables, create the relationships, expand on what invoice number, this on invoice number, and then okay. Now, I have created this relationship between these two tables. right? The next thing is then maybe you now say you want to create a pivot table, for instance. Now, what this would do for you is you've created a handshake between these two tables, but look at some of the things you're able to achieve here. When I added these two values in here, automatically it appeared in my recon sheet, and then it did the classification for me. So that is what Power Query is giving you. It's not just about the connecting the two data sets, but the ability for it to automate some of your transformation or processing of your data, whereby you can reuse those scripts. So for what we've done right now, yes, I've created relationships. I can come here and say pivot table to specify. Let's say I select this table. Sorry, just a moment. This so now I have more, I should have like, sorry, just a moment. This is pivot table, add to data model, and then okay. Now let's say I'm bringing in my invoice from this table, and I come here, invoice from this table. Now the question is, how do I even achieve what I just did? I can't.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, I can see everything. I can see the values across all tables. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes challenging.
I understand. Yeah, my second question is, when we merge the data, why was there duplicates? Is that just like an error that usually occurs sometimes, or?
Okay, so the duplicate was also a learning point, because there are times where you have duplicate data, right?
Yeah, I understand that, because I went through the raw data and I didn't find the duplicates. So where did they come? Oh, are they there and I didn't see them?
Maybe you didn't see them.
Yeah, right. Okay. I probably didn't see them.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any more questions?
Yes, I have a question, please. Good afternoon, sir. I'm sorry, I joined halfway. The question I would love to ask is from the data source has the two sources of data. There may be the invoice sense and the paid. They are all in the same worksheet. So how do we upload them separately now? Do I need to create a separate sheet and maybe cut this other one out before I load them? Because they are in the same.
If you don't mind, I need you to please take your question again.
Okay.
There's an interference.
The question is, okay, the worksheet, like you have shared here, the original worksheet has the two sources of data together.
Yeah.
That's the invoice sent and the paid. Then during importing, how do we import them separately? Do we need to create a separate sheet to separate them?
No, so if I get your question correctly, you have this data but saved in different sheets. As compared to this, we have all of them in one sheet. Right?
No, they are. I mean, as they are now.
Yes.
As they are now. How do we import them separately, like sent invoices and paid invoices?
Importing them separately, what we did to import them separately is you start from the first one, go to data. Okay. You then import, for instance, this goes into Power Query, right?
Yes.
If you notice, I just imported. That's why I see sent to. Now, I still have another file I want to import. right? Multiple imports.
Yeah.
The step come here where you have close and load, expand it, and don't go to close and load. Go to the next one, close and load to, select it, and then you see only create connection. Only create connection, and then you say okay.
Okay.
So it brings you back to Excel again, right? Then you select the other table, and then you repeat the same data importation process. Even if it's on another sheet, all you need to do is navigate to the other sheet, select it, and import. If it's
all right,
select import. If it's on another document as well, all you need to do is what? Come here, get data. If it's on an Excel, a different file entirely, you can click on from Excel workbook, and so on and so forth. So you can import across different mediums. I think it's 511 already.
Thank you.
511 already, I think. And we've been able to cover what we set out to cover in good time. So like I said, all of these have been stated. Merging tables, removing duplicates, columns, and more, which we've done. We've also been able to even create charts for the analysis, okay, and so on. So this is just a tip of the iceberg and how you can work more efficiently, most importantly, smartly for me, in my own opinion, achieve a lot in short time, right? It doesn't end here. It comes with a lot of practice, investing of our time, making some sacrifices. But I do hope that all that we've been able to cover today will be useful to you in your work. Also, as you proceed in your data analytics journey, as the case may be, right? I have one hand, Aluba Nasir. Nasir, your hand is up, please. You can unmute.
Hello, please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, please, can I see your analysis page? Because I was lost, so I'm trying to create my own back. So I've been able to do the other part. It just means the analysis page. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right. So I do hope we had a great time. And we're able to learn a lot. So like I said from the beginning, for some of us that maybe we are unable to catch up as quickly as we'd have wanted, or some of the concepts seemed a little bit foreign to us because we don't get to use this tool all the time, the encouragement is for you to try and upskill. And here at Detalium, we're very, very open to having you on board to support your learning process in the best way that we can. If a virtual instructor class was not an option for you, like in-person engagement, I do hope this engagement was at least a way to tell you that we can also do it online and everybody gets to understand it. We could share screen and get you to explain your areas of concern. Classes can be recorded for you to go over. We have support people on board as well to aid your learning process. All right. The goal for us basically is to ensure that we help you achieve all that you set out to achieve and be that guiding light. And so that's that. For those of us that already work with these things, I do hope you're able to learn a thing or two and we didn't bore you up. But I believe we didn't, because I think at some point we had like about 50 people on the call and we still have 43. So I think that's a good number. And I want to believe that we enjoyed ourselves. So please don't forget to shout us out on our socials. If possible, share what you've learned. We'll be following you and we'll be commenting. We'll be reposting some of the fantastic things you are doing as well. I encourage that you also maybe go to our Google, please give us some reviews based on some of your experiences with us. We're very welcome to hear from you. In the coming days, we're going to send you some thank you messages for joining. And then I would like to also announce that we have classes running by monthly. Okay, so like Kayode has earlier mentioned, we have our beginner classes, we have our data analytics mastery. For those people abroad that also need some internship, which will support them in getting jobs. So some referencing, some internship work experience. We're very open to that, to support you in securing that job and your place as a data analyst, even outside the shores of the country. We also have other offerings like business analysis. We have HR analytics, and we're very open to working with your corporate organization as well. So things around maybe helping your staff base improve their skills and competencies. The talent is also very big on that. We assess the training needs, and then we design bespoke curriculums for your organization. So these are things that we do. And finally, you have certain data solutions that you want to bring on board and see how it's going to affect your work positively. We're very open to doing all of these things. So please don't forget to reach out. Let's remember to connect across our socials. You can also look me up on LinkedIn. Kamal Endina is the name on LinkedIn. Please, let's do connect. I'm going to drop my name. Follow us on our pages, the Italian, and we'll be very happy to have you. Thank you for joining the community. I do hope we had a great time. So before we bring it to a close, please, can we get some feedback from the people in the house, people that are part of this? Let's get a feedback. We're very big on feedback. So how was the session? Oh, thank you. Any feedback you could, okay. You can unmute and just, let's get a few feedback.
Yeah, thank you so much for the impartation of knowledge. This is an eye-opener, and I believe it's going to be helpful in so many ways for me personally. Only that I'm going to upscale, like you said. I'm going to upgrade my Excel and then put all these things to practice. So I do hope that we're going to see the video so that it can be a guide as well.
Thank you so much, Raphael. You will definitely get the video to support you. And thank you for joining as well. Okay,
yes.
Ogwona.
Okay.
Hi, Kamal.
Hi.
Thank you very much for this session. I really appreciate. Like, it was very, very clear. I just wanted to ask, like, are you part of the facilitators in the data analytics area with Data? Are you part of the facilitators there? Like, if I am to enroll, will I meet you at any point, or you just? I just want to know.
Yes, so I'm part of the facilitators as well.
Because I really like your class, that's why I asked. Anyways.
Yes, I'm part of the facilitators as well. So hopefully, once you join us, there's a possibility you'll be in my class. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kamal.
Lucky, your hand is up.
Yeah, I want to give my review.
Okay.
The session was very, very educative. At least I learned something new today. I never knew we can perform conditional formatting using Power Query, though I can do it using Excel on Excel sheet. But
yes,
learning this from you today is really an eye opener for me, and I think I've learned how to automate my dashboard from what you've just taught us, and I really appreciate you and Datalum for this opportunity to learn this priceless knowledge for free. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Lucky. Thank you. Thank you. Please let's do well to also pay it forward when we have opportunities to. Um, thank you. I think that's all from me. Titi, over to you.
Thank you so much, Kamal. Good evening, everybody. I'm so glad we had a great learning experience. The feedbacks have been really beautiful, and I'm sure that some of us are already eager and curious to learn more on this analytics and all the other courses we offer. Thanks to Kamal's very interesting session. All right, so going forward, like Kamal said, we have other classes that we run: business analysis, data analytics, strategic HR for our HR professionals. So I'll be dropping a link on the group chat for you to indicate interest in whichever course you'd like to take, and then we'll have one of our um, customer success analyst or any of our train and development team would reach out to you, um, get your feedback, what you like to do. And if you are so unsure of which of the courses you like to take, you can also fill that form. We'll be there to answer any questions that you might have. Just discuss with us. You're kind of transitioning from low tech profession to a tech profession. We are also very much available to answer your questions, right? So our DMs are always open. I'll be dropping the link, and every one of us can fill it. So we'd love to get our feedback. Kindly kindly fill them when we drop them on the WhatsApp group so that we can reach out to you one on one and get your feedback and which of our courses you'd like to take. Like Kamal said, our courses are month on month, so you can register for any of our courses. If you are in the UK and if you are also in Nigeria, you have different courses for you. I have a question in the chat box that says, is there a certificate for the master class? No, there's no certificate for the master class, right? But if you'd like to get a certificate, you would have to enroll for one of our paid courses to get a certificate from us. Yeah, so the data analysis class is for 2 months for the beginners class, and for the beginners to advanced level, that's for 3 months. If you want to do business analysis class, it's for also 2 months. So it depends on which of the courses you'd like to take. I'm trying to answer some of the questions on the group chat. For the pricing, hybrid classes, that's partly virtual and partly physical. For the beginners class is 150,000, and the fully virtual class is 100,000. You can always reach out to us if you are interested and would like to have maybe a payment plan or something. Thank you so much, Akpabio, for your feedback. Yes, we offer data analytics and business intelligence. Yes, we offer a full class on that. I will drop the link now on the group chat so that we can all start filling it. And from tomorrow, we'll be getting a feedback from us. Immediately we fill it, we'll be getting a feedback from one of our. Yes, we'll get recorded videos. Some of us already asking if we get recorded videos. We'll get a recorded video. Immediately it is ready, it will be sent to the group chat with access to watch them. Yes, at the level, you can do the advanced class. The advanced class is the 296 intermediate class to advanced level. It is for 100,000 naira. It's a fully virtual class. All right, I think I've answered all of the questions in the chat box. Like I said, there's a link already on the WhatsApp group. Fill it. If you have any questions at all, we are here to answer your questions. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining once again. It's a pleasure having you all on the call today. I want to wish us a good evening and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks so much, everyone, and bye.